Hey, human family, how are you? It's Darren. Welcome to another episode of Fully Alive Again. You guys, today I want to talk about something that can be really daunting on us. It can challenge our moral compass. And that is, should we or should we not forgive the person and or persons that have intentionally harmed us? This is something to really think about, because if we choose the correct road, it will increase our power. It will strengthen our boundaries and give us more clarity and wisdom to navigate the world that we live in. So hopefully by the end of today's episode, you will have a definitive answer. Should you or should you not forgive the person that is intentionally harming you? So let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after these years.
Mark Twain stated, "Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it." That is such poetry and so beautifully said. I'm going to say it again. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Top shelf words. That's higher self words. That's the best of ourselves. That's poetic and it's beautiful. And it certainly is words that we should do our damnness to adhere to with our children, with our loved ones, with sentient human beings. Forgiveness is a higher virtue. It's an awesome virtue. We currently live in a culture that's a cancel culture that is completely driven by narcissism. People think narcissists are just conservative, uptight human beings. Narcissism runs rampant in every thought category, every political category, every religion, every industry. And cancel culture is a massive system governed and designed by narcissists. Forgiveness is a higher level of thinking. It's a higher level of being. But just like in all of our virtues in all areas of human existence, the rules are not the same when dealing with the narcissist. We have to have a different moral compass when dealing with narcissists. Up is down and down is up. You see, a lot of people really don't like when you categorize people in such a rigid manner as calling someone evil. People are afraid of a black and white world, and in terms of the differences being so narrow. But if you really look at it, there's up and there's down. There's left and there's right. There's north and there's south. There's east and there's west. There are pretty definitive black and white areas in human existence. Evil and non-evil are one of them. There are real differences in human beings. Some of these differences are good. Some of them are not. And it's the same way with forgiveness. You see, forgiveness in its original form in dealing with sentient human beings, empaths, codependents, people who are not parasitic and evil, is a wonderful, miraculous, life-giving virtue in behavior that generates a win-win for both parties. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with a narcissist, it does not create a win-win when you forgive them. It creates a lose-win. The narcissist wins and we lose. And this is very difficult to accept when you base your life on principles, on dogma, on things that have been told to us since we were little bitty people about the importance of forgiveness. And I want you to be very clear here. All of that is true outside of dealing with an evil entity and energy. You see, when we're dealing with the narcissist, every time we forgive them, there's a loss of dignity. And dignity is power. You must understand this. And every time we forgive them, then they slay us, or they do something to someone else, and they get a different target, and we partake in them hurting other people by not making forgiveness punitive when it comes to them. You see, by not forgiving a narcissist, it is part of their punishment. Because the things that they do are so hideous, are insidious and hideous and covert, that rarely are they held accountable for the horrific things that they do to other human beings. To forgive these types of people is utterly ridiculous in my opinion. And here's why. Every time we lose our dignity by forgiving a narcissist, and if you reflect back to your relationship, it's going to be full of forgiveness. If you're being honest with yourself, whether it was intentional or unintentional, we kept giving them chance after chance after chance after chance. So every time we forgave them, it was creating more weakness inside of us. It was whittling away our self-worth. It was shrinking us and empowering them. And whenever you forgive a narcissist, make no mistake, they see it as a green light to punish you for your stupidity in their mind. These aren't my words. This is the way that they're thinking, is that this person keeps allowing me to get away with what I'm doing. They are not worthy of my respect. Let me go full throttle on their ass because they deserve it. That's the way that they're thinking. Now, what happens to us, whether we're conscious of it or not, we start to shrink down and lose our dignity. Because deep inside, we know good and well we should not forgive this person for what they've done. So, another downside of forgiving a narcissist and an evil entity is that we start to loosen our boundaries. And this becomes habitual. It becomes a habit that we constantly do. We forgive a person when they shouldn't be forgiven. Oh, they didn't mean it. Oh, he or she's having a bad day. Or they come from a bad family. They were hurt too. We justify loose boundaries and not honoring and respecting ourselves. All of this occurs from forgiveness, whether we are aware of it or not. Not forgiving a narcissist is punitive. In our society, in every society, there are rules and laws, and when you break them, there are consequences. Our unforgiveness is the only thing that is punitive to these people most of the time, because most of society is asleep about the kind of things that these people do. And it's insidious. So forgiveness is a weapon that the narcissist uses against us. Our forgiveness empowers them and weakens us. If forgiveness was empowering to us in terms of when dealing with the narcissist, we would not be in the abyss of pain and suffering that we found ourselves in after a relationship with one of these people. Forgiveness does not empower us when we're in a relationship with the narcissist. It disempowers us. So here's what we have to be cognizant of, is that we don't want to hold on to the umbrage and the anger. You see, I am appalled by the things that my ex did to me and my mother did to me. It's vulgar, it's disgusting, and it's as low as it can get. But I've let go of the umbrage. Rarely do I wake up thinking about what either one of them did to me, even when I do a show like this and talk about them. They have no power over me. Early on, I could not shake them out of my consciousness. I was ruminating 24/7. I used to slam and hit my dashboard and say, why are these women still in my head? How come I can't shake them? It was because of the anger. You can dissolve anger and umbrage by understanding it and compartmentalizing it and not letting it dictate who you are. Part of that anger inside of us is that we feel the need, because of the way that we've been conditioned, to forgive the abuser. We're torn inside. And whenever we're torn inside, that creates frustration and conflict. And inner conflict creates anger. That energy, that frustration has to come out some way or another. You do not have to forgive a narcissist. And if you read the scriptures and you really dive into the Sanskrits and you study the scriptures all around the world, they're not saying to forgive evil. They're not saying that. They're saying to forgive those who are worthy of forgiveness. A narcissist is not worthy of forgiveness. And when you do it, it's an invitation to be violated and harmed and hurt again. Everything is upside down when dealing with these people. To not forgive an evil entity empowers us. It makes us stronger. It makes our boundaries stronger. It makes us think clearer. It gives us dignity. The way to get back our dignity is not to forgive these monsters, in my opinion. They do not deserve it. Again, I want to be very clear here. That doesn't mean that you walk around with a hard face full of umbrage and anger. It's taken a lot for me to get rid of all of the anger. I thought I was anger-free when I first started my YouTube channel. After watching myself on a few videos, I really discovered that I had a lot of umbrage for the people in my life that had hurt me, that was still there, that needed venting, and that's exactly what I was doing. Don't be shamed by the anger you have either. That is natural. You want that anger. That's a sign of a healthy human being. You want that anger to come up and come out and to release it in a healthy manner where you're not a walking time bomb. And part of that is knowing that you don't have to forgive. You don't have to forgive. And you don't have to forget, but you do have to heal and let go of the anger. And that's possible without forgiving. It really is. It takes time, it takes awareness, but you cannot forgive and be perfectly detached from that person. Does that make sense, you guys? I certainly hope so. I hope this episode today brought some clarity, new information that built up your enthusiasm and energized the fight and the clarity in you and gave you some value on your healing journey. I really hope so. And you guys know I got nothing but love for you. I deeply appreciate it when you stop by and share your opinion. Maybe I'm wrong here. Let me know what you think. Should we forgive or shouldn't we forgive? All right, you guys, and never forget, it's better to be tricked, fooled, used and abused, betrayed, and even damaged by an ass clown narcissist than to be an ass clown narcissist. I really mean this, you guys. We're one step ahead. Let's celebrate that and be grateful for that on our healing journey. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Until then, peace. Be well.